up next, we got Jenefeness in the building. We're going to be talking all things Bobby. Hi, Jenefeness.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Triana.
It's always a pleasure to have you. And you stay on it, okay? I just want to say that first, before we even start, you stay on it. And it's, you know, you're one of those people that's like, how do you do all the things you do, right? You wear different hats. You're here, you're there. And then Bobby, you just really has exploded. So tell us a bit more about what Bobby is for some of those new viewers who may not know.
Absolutely. So thank you for that. People are asking me all the time, like, how do you do everything? And I always say, I make time to do everything I want to do. And that's what I do. But as far as Bobby is concerned, we are a collaborative effort. We are here to help create a more equitable entrepreneurial ecosystem in Washington State. And so I think that is a major difference in some of the other organizations out here, because some of them are like focused on communities, which is beautiful and amazing, right? But with Bobby, we're focused on the entire state of Washington, because we know that there is an access problem with Black-owned businesses. There's a problem with them not even having connections to their local entities, but also the entire state and the resources. So while we started, myself, Curtis Calhoun, and BJ Stewart was at Urban Impact. Now he done moved to Chicago. Oh, wow. But the three of us got together and we were like, this is crazy. Our folks are not getting PPP. They are not getting EIDL. They don't even know. They don't have relationships with the banks. They don't have any of that. So we were like, what can we do? So we got together, we started doing events to educate, to motivate, and encourage Black-owned businesses across the entire state. So while Curtis was at Black Dot Africa Town and BJ was at Urban Impact, and at the time I was at Washington State University, we decided we're going to break down those barriers, those silos, those walls, and come together. And we've been doing that ever since. And so now this collaborative effort has about, I don't know, maybe a couple dozen folks that are on the board that are pushing, you know, as far as Tri-Cities, and as far, you know, I live in Roy, Washington. So all over the entire state, just trying to really elevate these Black-owned businesses through education and access.
Well, this is important because Bobby stands for Black-owned business excellence. Yes. And that's exactly what you're setting Black-owned businesses up for, right? By having all of these connections and really utilizing some of the streams that have existed for small businesses from the beginning, really. And you're allowing for, again, that education and access to be a focal point here. But y'all have some events coming up. These are the ways that some of those businesses who might not be connected can really learn more and dive in. Tell us about some of these amazing events you have coming up.
Yeah, so another difference with Bobby is that anytime we ask somebody to do something, we give them a check. Like, we try to use all Black-owned business, from the vendors, from the venue, to, you know, to the media, to everybody. We try to use Black-owned. And what brings me joy is that when we hand them that check, they're like, oh, I wasn't expecting this, because we don't necessarily tell them. But if we ask you to be a part of a panel, we're going to pay you. Like, we want you to know that your business is important and you are important. So in April 18th, we have an event coming up called Pricing Perspectives. We're going to talk about pricing. This is an area where a lot of us fail. We either overprice or underprice and we don't get the sale, right? And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to have a panel of some amazing Black entrepreneurs to talk about some missteps that they've had in their own businesses, and also some triumphs, some successes. And then we'll do some networking. And so we still don't have a space for that yet. But I'll tell you about the one we're having in July 18th. July 18th, we're going to talk about capacity building, how the fact that 98% of our businesses are solopreneurs, micropreneurs, but we're not doing this effectively, right? And so there's so many tools nowadays with this AI. And so we're going to talk about that, capacity building. And that's going to be at Katie Hall is going to be presenting, and then we're going to have a panel, and it's going to be at Boom Boona Cafe, the one in Renton. And then on October 17th, we're going to talk about branding brilliance. And we're going to have Darnisha Weary. She's leading that one. We'll have a panel, and we'll have that one at her Black Coffee Northwest in the CD. So we're constantly, again, trying to pour into these Black-owned businesses, making sure that we're supporting them, we're using them as a venue, as a vendor, as a speaker, as a panelist, and really elevating, because we just had our symposium February 1st. There were folks in the symposium, folks that have lived here forever, had not even heard of. For example, there was Jeffrey Taylor. His insurance agency has been in the CD for over 30 years. There's folks that were like, oh, I didn't even know we had a Black insurance agent. I'm like, come on, y'all. We got to do better. And that's what we're doing. We're elevating these businesses and putting them out front. So if you need insurance, there's no way you should be on the yellow pages. You should know that this black man, this black-owned business is one that you should be getting your insurance from. We had presidential transportation. He's doing big things. Yeah. He's been around also for decades. People didn't even know. So when you're calling and you're calling for Uber or Lyft or Black Car, you could be calling his Black Car service, this black-owned business. So elevating these black-owned businesses that are not getting the notoriety because maybe they're not in the limelight. Maybe their marketing is not that great, you know, but still they need to be known. And so that's what we're doing.
You know what? The existence of black business is another one of those just truly inspiring stories, how people continue to stay in business, stay profitable, bringing resources to community is so key. And it sounds like, I mean, from all the work y'all are doing, because that's 2024. Y'all got some great events planned and lined up for folks to really tap into these resources. But through all of these hard efforts of you and all the others now on the board, all those who are contributing to Bobby, y'all just recently got awarded for something. I would need you to tell us more about that.
Yes, so that's just super exciting. So number one, we have some amazing allies. I would be remiss not to say that. We have some folks that are in place in different organizations that are saying, hey, this is what Bobby is doing, and they're elevating us from the very beginning, like the Department of Enterprise Services. Man, they've been giving us money, like not just lip service, but actual money to say, hey, Bobby's doing it, here's a couple $1,000s, here's a few $1,000s, and every year they're giving us more. So they nominated us for the Washington Economic Development Agency's Advocate of the Year Award, the Economic Development Advocate of the Year Award, and we won. Wow. And we're the first black business, first black entity to win this award. Wow. And so they have an effort to say, hey, we want to push diversity, and we're making them accountable to that. Like, how are you pushing it? Oh, these are the folks, because they asked us to, hey, can you push this out to Bobby to see if they'll come to the WIDA conference? I'm like, let me see the agenda. I don't see no representation on here. Nobody that look like us. So why are we coming to your event? Yeah. Oh, we're going to do better. Well, do better first. Do better first. And so as a result, they do have some color, you know, in their agenda, and we're going. We actually paid for 10 folks to go to this conference because we want to be, if there's conversations about economic development in Washington, why shouldn't we be there? Our black-owned businesses should be there. Our black business owners should be there. Our black folks should be there. So we're paying for 10 folks to go to this WIDA conference, the Winter WIDA conference, because we want our voices to be there. It ain't enough for just Jenefeness or Miko or Taj or Tiara. It's not going to be enough until we're all there, sitting at the table where these decisions are being made, where the dollars are being made, where the budgetary line items are being addressed. We need to be like, well, why is it going there? Why can't it go there? They don't know because we're not sitting at these tables. So that is why Bobby exists, to help create a more equitable entrepreneurial ecosystem in Washington State.
Oh, well, let me tell you something. This is why I love having you on, because every time you come with this high energy, and you get me pumped up, girl. You get me pumped up.
It's the red.
No, I'm telling you, the fire is on today, because honestly, the beauty of what Bobby is doing is so necessary. I talk about supplier diversity all the time, and the idea that there's some work happening where we're really trying to work with DES in my state role to really say, look, here are some of the barriers that need to be broken down in order for these doors to open up for black-owned businesses and global majority-owned businesses. So I love that Bobby is a part of that and that y'all are pushing on that end. Again, Jenefeness, thank you so much for all the work you're doing. Of course, if folks want to get tapped in, they don't want to miss any of these events you mentioned, or they are really in need of your services, look right there, let them know how they get connected.
Absolutely. So first of all, let me give a shout out to Mujali at Outside Think, because he just redid our website. And so you're able to go to our website and look at all the events and connect. Every single Friday, we have a Bobby Vibe Tribe where we meet online at 10 a.m. every Friday. We've been doing that for over 4 years. But you can go to bobewa.org. So BOBEWA.org.
Oh, Jenefeness, thank you again.
Thank you.
Powerful moves, my sister.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, look, she done got us started nice and right. And up next, we got Kanisha from Africatown Community Land Trust, keeping the energy up and giving us some of those details we need for this year's State of Africatown. Y'all don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.